So the first one that's up, where's my notebook, is, sorry, I should have memorized that. Alloysius, you cool to go? Oh, you're already mic'd, you're good, cool. So the prompt that I had given Alloysius was,
3 minutes?
yeah, it was like from the perspective, yeah, not just the time, come on.
Okay, cool.
Not just the time.
It's the most important thing, right? So.
Because, no, come on. Because this is a farmer-centered design panel,
Yeah.
like from the lens of the farmer or the person that is your customer,
Yeah.
how do they see your service? So that was the prompt. You can say whatever you want now.
All right, cool. So, all right. So my name is Alloysius from Farmerline. I'll give a brief introduction to Farmerline and then lessons learned. All right. So we started this business 5 years ago, and when we started, we had one thing in mind: connect farmers to information at all times on their mobile phone. We started with $600 that we got from a competition in Ghana, and we started with 10 years software engineering experience, and then 30 years of between my co-founder and I, 30 years on the farm and rural experience. So that's all we had. I believe it's to build software, $600, and also being very close to farmers and having an understanding of how they work and how their communities operate. So in many years down the line, we've been able to build a product. We started with an SMS application that clearly didn't work because most of the farmers that we work with prefer to consume content in their native languages. They prefer audio versus SMS in West Africa, so we switched to that. But then, many years down the line, we are working across 11 African countries right now. A team of over 32 people. We've profiled and served over 200,000 farmers and have mapped over 700,000 hectares of farmland. We have 2 offices in Ghana, but then our model is about getting our technology services to organizations and businesses that work with farmers. I don't want to go too much into what Farmerline does or any sales pitch, but let me just go really deeply into 3 things that we learned over this time. The first time when the first lesson, we built our product for 6 months. We took our first trip to the field. I remember I finished college in 2012. My co-founder just finished his master's. We met a group of 150 agriculture extension officers in Ghana. We showed them our technology, which was mainly SMS. And then our value proposition to them was that you have all this research and all this knowledge in your office. Your budget for going down to the community to do extension work keeps going down 40% every year. So we have a technology that can complement that, and it was just purely SMS. And then they tore us apart. They said that first of all, they thought that our software was going to take their work away, and then they also said that our idea sucks, it wasn't going to work. And then they gave us one valuable lesson. They said that they spent years building the relationship that they have with the farmers, the trust that they have is extremely important, and farmers value that. They use that to determine how they consume the information that they give them. And secondly, if you send information via SMS, it just wouldn't work. So then we decided to build voice. It took us a year to figure that one out. And the whole idea was take the same experience that farmers get when they speak to officers and put it on a mobile. So they meet, they speak in their local languages, they talk. So what we did was in complement to in-person training, field training, field workshops, we can be able to send very short audio messages to farmers in their native languages, to help them, to remind them to take actions at the right time. Remember, we've also learned that the voice messaging itself will not replace extension entirely because in-person training is still very important. You still have to demonstrate certain types of technologies to farmers. So voice actually helped, and that lesson came from farmers. We also saw that the cost of communication via voice was actually cheaper than SMS, which was really shocking because the idea thing you think is that SMS is 4 cents, right, per message, and then voice is very expensive. But then when you want to communicate, let's say 1 page of content to a farmer, it takes about 15 to 30 seconds, right? And then if you want to send this via SMS, it takes about 15 types, sets of SMS, right? Which is 4 times 15. So it's actually cheaper at the end to communicate via voice than SMS, and that's what we learned from farmers. And now we are distributing resources to farmers using data and technology. And it was inspired by one visit to the field where we met a group of cacao farmers. And then we realized that cacao farmers have been taking credit. They call it, cash advance for years, right? So we said, like, there's no financial inclusion. No, it's been happening for years. It's just at the community level. It's not been documented. It's not digitized. There's no transparency, so you don't get to see that. So farmers actually go to this agent. They take money in advance, and then they pay back when their harvest is ready. This agent make a credit decision based on the sales history and also the relationship. So as I'm an agent, you are a farmer, you come to me, you want to get credit, you sold 5 bags to me last year, this year you sold to me 3 bags, I can anticipate that when I give you a loan of half a bag or 1 bag, you can pay me back because you have 2 more bags to sell to me. Right, so this informal credit scoring happens in the agent's mind, and basically what we started doing around that is to document this process and put it into an app, and then make it available. Show the decision-making process and then the repayment process, and make it open for other people who want to extend, various forms of credit to farmers or to people in the last mile to use, and that is actually powering our, AI and data-driven, innovation around, last mile distribution. And that innovation came from like just seeing what is happening in the community. So when we started that, the whole idea was that, like, give credit, because, like, farmers need access to financial services. Credit is a way to go. I'm not saying credit is not great, but this is what we've learned from our work. Out of 1,000, for every 1,000 people that we try to reach with high quality and affordable inputs, only 256 of them actually got it on credit. So we're curious, like, we're actually getting it for free, and you pay back when you have the money. Why are you getting on credit? Why are you not getting on credit? 300 of them got it through savings. 400 actually bought it instantly. What we saw was that, income and expense mismatch, right? So if there's a straight match between what farmers are spending and how much they have, and then the services that you're giving to them, they will actually pay for it, than to be in debt, right? People have a sense that, a sense of progress. For most farmers that we work with, it's not about being in debt, but it's about having the ability to purchase services directly themselves or save towards it between, 1 month to 3 months. So that was a shock for us. So the next stage for us as a company is like, how do we keep using our position as a technology company that has ability to aggregate all these farmers, aggregate their data, and use this information to broker like a great deal that actually helps them to get quality product, right in their community, but then at a great price point. Last year it was 20% below market price. We think that as we keep growing, that price will keep going down. And what will happen is that the farmer will move from somebody who is a taker of services to somebody who have choices, because if the cost of distribution to them goes down, many more people will play in the market, and when many more people play, the farmer will have a choice. And then when there are choices, prices goes down. Quality is ensured because they have information. So this is where we are heading right now, and all these things are like really inspired by our work with farmers. That's why we have 2 models. We license our technology to organizations, food companies, across 11 countries, but most of those technologies come from our direct work with farmers in Ghana. So that's basically, an introduction to Farmerline and some of the lessons that we've learned, working with farmers.
One question for you. When you think about the farmer's experience, like, does the farmer know that you're coming up with this kind of credit scoring for them, or is it kind of a surprise that comes to them? Surprise! You can get this loan if you didn't have it, or yeah, how does it play out?
Yeah, so the idea actually started from the agent actually finances this cash advance, this demand based on their own cash flow, based on their own pocket money. Yeah. So the agent actually still takes that information into the app, makes a recommendation and takes an audio recording of a farmer, just like a voice signature, to say that actually, because we realize that if you sign a paper in the community, nobody cares about the paper. You can take them to court, nothing will happen. But if there's a voice recording where you can play it, it's like, hey, you took this thing and then you said you're going to pay back at this rate, it helps. So then the farmers don't care about the credit scoring, the machine learning. They don't care about that. All they care about is that I come to you, I want credit. You don't ask me for collateral. You don't ask me to join a group. But for some reason, you give me the product, at a fair price, at a fair rate, and then I'm able to pay back to this person I've been working with for years.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So Debbie,